Hey guys, man, I want to thank you, 12B Georgia and Iron Crane and Ashley and Margot and everybody that's already here. I really appreciate you coming. I'll tell you, Friday night is a hard time for anybody to spend some time on YouTube, but I want to thank you guys for being here. Yeah, it started right now, Ashley. We're going hard. Yeah, it's on the fan. So, I want to gather all my people in here. Uh, and I want to thank my subs. I want the like button to be hit on your way in or out. Just the regular old stuff. Leave me a comment. Hit the bell icon. Do all those things that everybody always says on all their videos. My PayPal information may be somewhere in the chat tonight. If it is, and then you feel like you want to donate to my channel to help me grow, it'll be greatly appreciated. Other than that, you will not hear PayPal from me. So anyway, we do have, before we get started, we do have a silver bar. And this is mainly for the people who are catching this on the replay. And we have a Trump coin 2020 that I'm giving away to a person who leaves a recent comment on a recent video. So I'm trying to get to 1,500 subs and it's not looking good, but we're going to do the best we can. So I want you to remember that Sunday at 11 a.m. I do a 11 a.m. Bible study. This Monday at 3 p.m. I'll be doing a show with Fight and Defend. Wednesday it'll be Deplorable Bobby at 8 o'clock. And then next Friday at 3 p.m. it'll be Dangerous Deplorables again with my brother Ron. So tonight we have a great patriot friend, somebody that I've really thought a lot of for a long time. And she's going to be with us tonight. She's a person you can cry or laugh with. She really is. She's a loving mother, and she shows how much she cares about America through how she studies and how she researches and how she brings this stuff to us. And she shares her information with us, and that's what makes up her world. So tonight we're going to welcome Charity Clarity. She's going now by the name of Charity Osho. Charity is the real deal. What you see is what you get. And to hear from her is to hear the truth above all else. So everybody grab your popcorn. The show begins with the Charity Osho. And I want to welcome Charity to our stream tonight. And everybody give her a big thumbs up. Welcome,
Hi,
Charity.
everyone.
How are you?
I'm good, Bobby. How are you?
I'm great.
Thank you so
I'm great.
much for that. That was so nice. I'm very flattered.
No, I'm not here to flatter. I tell the truth.
You do.
Yeah.
Definitely
So
do.
I try. And together, I know that you're a good Christian woman and you believe in the truth as well as I do. And that's what we're going to get to tonight. It's some truth. Sort of dig through all the garbage and see where the truth really lays. It's a lot of times we're deceived. Oh, that word deceived. It's so, that brings up so many things to be deceived. That, to be deceived is to be stupid, is to be totally ignorant. And we can't be that today. We have to wake up.
No, not now. Definitely not.
So Charity, tell us a little bit about you and your family and that little one you got and what you're trying to do.
Well, it took a lot for me to figure out what I want to do because I do a lot of stuff. I enjoy a lot of different volunteer work. I've studied addiction counseling. I worked with domestic violence, and I volunteered with the Republican National Committee in my time. So basically, I think what happened is that I started to realize that there's so many things that people are afraid to talk. And like you said before, with so much garbage out there, like with what we're going to talk about tonight, it's important to have the time to sort through things, kind of fact check with some discernment, because I am Christian, and be able to bring it to people, without worrying about the ridicule that you get, because a lot of people are afraid to talk about things, especially where I am in New York. A lot of people are closet Trumplicans, they call us.
Trumplicans?
Yeah, closet
Okay.
Trumpicans, because nobody wants to let people know around here. And you just can't be that way, especially because when you have children, you know what's going to happen. You know, they're in a different time. It's a
Yeah.
whole different world.
Yeah.
So
It has to be. I couldn't imagine having a child in this day and time. Um,
scary.
it was hard enough bringing them up in the 80s. I can imagine what it's like today.
Yeah, it's a
But,
lot.
yeah, we're going to talk a little bit tonight, and I'll be honest with you. I'm sick of the coronavirus story. I really am. But the only thing is I have some stuff, and so do you, that I think a lot of people don't really know about, and maybe they should. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about the coronavirus, but we're going to talk about a few things that maybe, just maybe, you haven't heard, because we're going to start this thing hoping and praying that everything works out for the best. This thing mutates and disappears, and it's all over. That's all we can hope and pray for, Charity.
Absolutely.
We can hope for the best and pray for the worst.
Mhm.
Because we don't know what's going to happen. We're getting stories from every angle about what's going to happen in this country, what's going to happen over there. When the truth of the matter is, it's happening in China. And the stories that we get out of China, Charity, are lies.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Lies. Every day you go on the internet and you see, oh, well, there's been X number of new cases and X number of new deaths and X number of recoveries. Well, the recoveries seem to always outweigh the deaths.
They do.
Which is normal. But what they failed to tell you is that 2% that die equals out to 3.5 billion people worldwide by the time it spreads and it does all of its thing. So right now, China has a media blackout. They're not letting anything out or anything in. It's a total media blackout. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of people. Let me see if I can get their name. I probably can. It's on another page somewhere. But we had two people who were putting out videos about the coronavirus and what was happening in Wuhan at the time. And both of these people, according to their families, have disappeared. They have just vanished from the face of the earth because they were there to speak out. They spoke out on the internet about and told the truth about the virus and what it was like and what they were going through. And so now these people have disappeared. But you see, that's what we're doing, Charity. We're dealing with a nation that tortures, kills, maims, enslaves their own people. Murdering their own people is nothing to them.
No, not at all.
Not at all. You have not 49 crematories in China, okay, in the Wuhan area.
Yep.
All right. Now, they're saying that they cremate 224 every shift. Wow. That's a lot of people. So multiply 224 times 3. What does that give you, Charity?
224 times 3?
Yeah. I've got it written here, but I can't find it.
672 is 224 times 3. Is it 2,000? No, 224.
Yeah, 224 times 3.
Yeah.
All right. So that's how many people they are cremating every day.
Mm-hmm.
They're cremating 224 per shift. That's their quota. Sometimes they don't make it. Sometimes they go over, but it's 224 per shift. All right. You've seen that satellite image of that big cloud that's over Wuhan?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what that is? That's sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide comes from one of two things. It's either from burning corpses or biological material. One of the two. It's all biological. You will not get sulfur dioxide any other way. So that proves that they got these crematoriums running at full speed. Okay, right? And they're burning more than one or two at a time in order to get to that quota. And what I wanted to get at was that this all didn't happen just in December, on December 23rd. It wasn't like, okay, December 23rd happened and, oh my God, we've got the coronavirus. That's not how it happened, Charity. All the way back last year in June, Bill Gates, oh, by the way, he and his wife own a patent to the coronavirus, said, and he also owns, and he's also trying to find a cure, by the way. But he said back in June that there was a pandemic coming. Okay. Yeah. He knew it then. Well, since October, thanks to satellites, they orbit the earth all the time and they take pictures of everything. Well, back in October, they took pictures of China, and around the Wuhan area, there were blue glowing orbs all over the ground in several different places. Well, those orbs represented fires. So they have been cremating their people outside in burn pits since October. They're lying to you. If they say that there's 1,000 people dead, you can go ahead and figure, well, they're talking about 150,000. They're not going to tell you the truth.
No.
What's going to happen is we're going to believe all this garbage they're telling us. And then one day we're going to wake up and they're going to say, oh my God, it's a pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the meantime, what do we do, Charity? What do we do, Charity? Tell me.
They're slowly doing it. Well, I think the big thing is to be able to talk honestly about it and talk to other people, because I've met a lot of people that, don't even know what's happening. They think it's no big deal, or they're terrified. It's like one extreme or the other extreme.
Yep. You're right.
And
I
there's
mentioned
no
that
reason not to talk about it.
I hate to mention my sister all the time, but she's one of those libtards, I mean, she's uninformed about everything. And I mentioned this coronavirus to her today, and she had no idea what I was talking about. No idea whatsoever. She hadn't heard a word. She heard that people are wearing masks, but she didn't know why.
Same thing with my best friend. Same thing today. I was talking to her. She was in the city. She was like, a lot of people are wearing the mask. Everybody's getting the flu. And I was like, well, there's a little more behind them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and that's the whole thing, Charity. People are just they don't want to be informed. But one thing I want to do inform people about, and I'm going to try to get it back to you because I know you have so much information, but 61% of all of the people that are cremated in China come from residences and not from hospitals. Remember the other day I did a video and I said they were padlocking their doors, locking them inside, or they were welding bars across their doors.
Oh, they are. It's awful. I was watching some of
and they're left there to die.
Yeah.
They're left there to die.
For the greater good. Did you see the videos that snuck out? I put some clips up on my channel.
That's right. Exactly. For the greater good.
Good of the world and civilization, like all this crazy stuff they're telling people. Like
you're dying for the greater good. Yeah, exactly. It's stupid. But where is Emperor Xi or Z or whatever you call him? Where's he at? He's hiding somewhere in a bunker. Yeah. Or maybe he's in Venezuela.
The mayor?
Huh?
He is. He's somewhere. He fired. What do they call it? Like the mayor of Wuhan, or?
Well, yeah, but he had his people do that. He did that over the phone. He's not showing his face.
But he's not. No responsibility. Let's just fire everybody. Blame
That's right. Exactly.
It's awful.
Exactly. And when everybody that you've got working with at the hospitals dies, from being contaminated, and they all get sick and die, well, forget the hospitals. Let's just ship them right to the crematorium if they're dead or not. Because I'm going to tell you, China is not above murdering their own people.
No.
They've done it
The
for
CDC
centuries.
does. Yeah.
I mean, that they're evil. They don't care about their people. What they care about is the bottom line.
Hmm.
And right now, the bottom line is, well, they're in trouble and they're trying to figure a way out of this. They didn't expect this to happen. Somebody released this thing. It didn't just escape.
Oh, yeah.
There is a
Absolutely.
plan and a power behind this whole thing. I don't know what power it is. It could be the United States. It could be China. It could be Taiwan. I don't know. But somebody is behind this release.
Yeah.
It didn't just that virus didn't just wake up one morning on that petri dish and think, well, I'm going to escape today, so I need to steal that scientist's keys, and I'm going to shimmy across the floor. I'm going to unlock the door, and I'm going to go outside. Now, that virus didn't do that.
Well, there's the biolab, the level 4 bio lab right next to that.
Exactly. So how did that virus get released? It got released by human hands.
Something happened.
Something happened. Boy, isn't that a good excuse? Well, what happened? Well, I don't know, but something did.
Oh, they know. Well,
yeah, they know exactly what happened.
I don't know. That's the scary part. But the thing is, you know, so many people right now are, I mean, even who's talking about it, they're being a little more clear, you know, but so many other people are like, oh, it would never happen here. This can't happen here. You know, just like we didn't have, you know, the Spanish flu or anything, but this is worse than that.
Well, the last thing you want to do is to get people to the point to where they don't trust you. And see, nobody trusts the Chinese government, so they're way past that. But that, you know, you're right. They're trying to purge local governments from people. You know, governors and mayors. They're trying to purge those people and replace them with their own people. If you care a little bit about the people that you're over or in your district or whatever, well, then you need to be replaced, because we need people in there that don't care about them, because we're going to kill them.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is in China.
Well, look at the camps that they set up. I mean, and this is the thing, you know, when people, where'd you go?
I'm right here.
Oh, sorry. I must have minimized. I hit something. Sorry about that.
You're fine. Nothing changed.
Oh, good. Okay. What's, you know, upsetting is to me is that there is enough evidence. There's enough things for people to see for themselves what's happening. Like with the camps that they set up, you know, like those hospitals, those emergency ones, not the 2 that they built, but you know, the camp places. You have leaked videos that somehow leaked out. And you know how hard it is for anything to leak out. So times it by 1,000,000 for that to come out.
Sure.
And the guy stands outside telling people, pretty much almost begging people not to come in there. He was saying, you will not come out.
You go in, you won't come out.
Yes. You have to be able to take care of yourself. And they're like, what about medical? What about this? And he's like, I have nurses, I have doctors, but I was just given orders that we have no equipment. We will not be treating anybody. So this man, I'm listening to him. It's translated. So I pray for discernment that it's translated properly, you know, is pretty much pleading with the people out there. Don't come here. You're not going to get help here. You know?
Yep, that's right. I mean,
so that's what concerns me a little bit. It's like when you have things like that in your face, we can't be that oblivious to the reality of what's really happening there. And how extreme they will go to stop something for how much they want to be, you know, the best of the world. And look at all this stuff they've done to stop it.
Okay.
So that's what concerns me, if it's snuck in somewhere else, you know.
Well, Philip Turner said maybe the missing doc, remember the doctor who came up missing, got infected, went out into the public, infected thousands without knowing it, then died somewhere away from work. And you see, that's the whole thing.
But it's a lot of.
But it doesn't matter if it's him or not. How many people are infected that don't know it, that spread it? Why did so many people die in their homes? They didn't die of starvation.
Without symptoms. That's the most alarming thing I heard this week, is that we've known, you know, but they confirmed that there's super spreaders.
Yeah.
People, that's why they're taking everybody's temperatures, you know,
Okay. So
this,
now we have super spreaders.
that don't have a symptom.
Yeah. It's sort of like a carrier,
Carrier.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And this isn't coming from China or some, you know, WordPress blog. This is from who? The CDC, you know, the people that we already know
Well,
not
there
to
you go.
trust.
There's 3-letter agencies right there.
But, you know, I know not to trust what they say, but when they are going to admit certain things like that,
Well,
you know, like
I'll be honest with you. Back in my drinking days, I used to know this lady who worked for the CDC, and she drank a lot more than I did. And when she drank, she loved to talk. And the stories that she would tell out of the CDC, just in her
it's a soda, not a drink.
department,
Yeah.
was flooring. I mean, it'd make your jaw drop.
Yeah.
She worked in the animal bio lab, and she said they were mixing genes, creating
Oh, yeah.
hybrids. You know, they're infecting animals with diseases that you know that never had before. They're making diseases and testing them. Why in the world?
Yeah.
This coronavirus started because some scientist, took the SARS bio, took the AIDS bio with four other proteins.
Yeah.
Now, people understand with DNA, just adding one protein can change the entire genome. All right. So now you've added 4 proteins to SARS and AIDS. So now you have the coronavirus. All right.
And you could read it for yourself, all the findings that they found. It isn't just, oh, we heard this. Or you could read and see they're using HIV medicine to treat this, you know? They're
also using Ebola medicine to treat it. Ebola vaccine.
Oh, please.
How crazy is that?
That was just manufactured.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We just had 200 people in a casino in Louisiana get quarantined because they have intestinal problems, and they can't stay off the pot. They're throwing up and diarrhea 24 hours a day. They're all sick. And then you just had another ship that was going into the Caribbean, and all of a sudden the whole ship is sick with a digestive problem. See, the digestive problem is the old norovirus. You know, it infects you. So what they're doing, see, it's not just this pandemic coming from the birds, which came from bats and fish and snakes. And so I don't know how it got to birds. I still haven't seen that connection yet.
I don't know, because there's all these crows there. So I'm kind of confused why we wouldn't be catching them, because wouldn't they be spreading it everywhere? You know,
well, sure.
I'm being sarcastic, you know.
Well, no, you're right. But see, that's the whole thing. This thing is not something that just happened. You'll never convince me this was just an act of God. This was man playing God, and it got out of hand. They lost it, and now it's released on us.
And you have tons of scientists and doctors saying that. A lot, very hard to find anybody that's not saying that, from my experience and everything I've looked into.
And they're saying that if you actually have this disease and you live through it, you can catch it again. You can catch it multiple times. It's not something you get and then you have an antibody for it and you don't have to worry about it again, like smallpox, measles, and all that other stuff that we've all been vaccinated for. Well, I'm not getting a vaccination for this. Okay.
Me either. That was the end of it.
All right. But they're saying that if you are reinfected the second time, that your chances of surviving are very slim, because the medications they're giving you to cure you the first time are so detrimental to your heart. So that if they do it again, it's going to kill you. They've already reduced your heart function by half by saving your life. Wait a minute. That's just don't save my life, okay? Just let me go. You know,
no, thank you.
It's stupid. But they're saying that if you get reinfected, that your chances of dying from heart failure are very high
Yeah.
because of the medication you got the first time.
Yep.
So now
And gosh,
they're not just killing us with the virus, they're killing us with a cure.
Yeah. Well, the one person I can't remember right now, it was in my Word notes that I lovely notes that I couldn't find and came up with all new notes. But you might remember there was some patient in the beginning of kind of in the beginning of this a few weeks ago.
Huh?
I don't know if it was, there was one person that passed away. Oh God, was it the first? But basically they were reading, they had listed everything they did to treat the man. And they said that, they gave him a fever reducer. And that was right before he had passed away. And there was this doctor that was explaining, how catastrophic that would be, that your immune system is turned on itself. That's what this virus is like, attacking you, from the inside out.
Sure.
And by giving the, fever reducer, that was it. It exploded, and he talked about that and the antibiotics also, how that's the other thing that can happen and is happening, That's what's kind of freaky about it, is that I don't see what the harm is being in learning about it and understanding it so that we're a little more careful, because you don't want to take any chance ever on getting it. You know what I mean? Like,
and if you think that it's not coming here,
yeah, it's already here.
well, while your head's in the sand, you might as well dig a little deeper and find some water, because you need a good cold drink, because it's coming. I mean,
I personally believe that we have it a lot all over because of the way that it's spread at the cruise ships, how it's in Tokyo, everywhere.
Everywhere. We had 200 people come into Atlanta Monday. Okay. They flew in on an airplane from Wuhan to Atlanta, 30 miles from my home. Okay. They flew in there. And you know what they did with them? They gave them home
quarantine. Yeah. Home isolation.
Yeah. Self-quarantine. That's the word. Self-quarantine.
Like 200 people, right? Yeah.
200 people. In my area. They just turned them loose. Said, okay, y'all guys go home, stay there 24 days or 14 days, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, so let me ask you, Charity, how many people out of that 200 are actually going to stay home? Who isn't going to have to run down to the store for a pack of cigarettes, or they got to run, pick the kid up from school because somebody else couldn't pick them up? It doesn't matter. They're not staying self-quarantined. I don't believe that.
No, and honestly, because there's a lot of people now, like, that I've really realized through talking about this to others and hearing their take on it, that really have this persona. Even people on the cruise ships, if you've been watching, if anybody watches the interviews where they have with the people on the cruise ships, that it's like, well, it can't happen to me. Like, and they're on the cruise ship. Now people I feel sorry for. Well, I did the whole time. I feel awful and I pray about it, but that are waking up to the reality that this is like a nightmare for them. But in the beginning, a lot of people were like, oh, I'm on a luxury cruise. Who wouldn't want to be here? And so what do you think that if you're on a cruise ship, which is like a sauna of, if you're in there with somebody that's sick.
Yeah, right.
And people there are thinking this way, right? That's not going to have the same thing when the certain amount of people are now, stay home. There won't be another 25 people out of 200, just like on the cruise ships, that are like, never me, it's just the flu. It's fine. Especially because you have the one woman they've been interviewing all over, that keeps talking about how she never had any symptoms from him. She's an American.
And they say that a lot of people don't even ever get symptoms, but yet they can still spread the disease.
Yeah, but it's also like giving people a false thing of like, oh, well, if she was okay, then how do we know I wouldn't be okay?
Exactly. Well, like they say, there's different variances of the disease. You can have a very, very mild case to where you hardly even notice it. Or you can have a case that's going to kill you. It just depends on maybe it depends on your biology. Maybe this is a biological weapon that they've released that targets a certain a certain DNA, a certain class of people. Most
Yeah,
of the
but
people
how do they
dying
not know?
are Chinese men.
Yeah,
I mean, why is
but no,
95% of everybody dead a Chinese man?
yeah.
Sounds to me like targeting.
Well, that's what kind of scared me about could it already really be mutating, because it looked like it was mainly, what, a little over 40s male, Chinese. But then if you look at the cruise ships and the UK and the people all
Yeah.
over, it's not seeming to be discriminating.
And who's going to say it's not going to mutate over and over a short period of time? Viruses, they work on their own schedule. Charity, they're not restricted to what the scientists say that when they can mutate or whatever,
Yeah,
and they can mutate for the good. They can mutate to where they don't affect humans anymore, or they can mutate to the point to where they over infect
yeah,
humanity, to where it's, well, look at the bubonic plague. It came from fleas.
hmm,
1/3 of Europe died.
yeah,
Okay. The Spanish flu, 1918, 1919.
yeah.
50,000 American soldiers died, more than died in combat in World War One. We had 11,000 people here in the United States die from the swine flu. It was worldwide. It was a pandemic. And I'm telling you right now, people get mad at me. They can turn me off. They cannot listen to me no more. But this is a pandemic. If it's not here today, it'll be here tomorrow. Don't put your head in the sand. Stay awake. Be aware. We are under attack.
Well,
Don't
that's
you
the thing
agree?
that concerns me is, I really think that it's important that people pay attention, because we're not immune to what, like we discussed. I know this is a much different
Go right ahead.
virus. This is a way different virus than anything we've seen before.
Sure.
The way that it's made and what's in it. But we're not immune to anything like this. We've had this happen forever, every 50 to 100 years. It happens all over the country. Why
All
do
the time.
people think that it wouldn't happen here, especially in like New York City or California? We know how, like, with all the, it's just, I can't understand it. I can't
Well,
understand how people think we wouldn't have this problem. Like, we have a
well,
magic wand here.
well, wrap your head around this. Okay, if the bubonic plague was back before we had scientists and people making diseases and plagues and things that would affect people. All right, but now we don't just have to worry about what nature creates, for us to fight against.
It's
But
man.
now we have man manufactured germs that are doing the same thing to us. So now we're being attacked from our own. Mankind is attacking mankind. And you see, that's the crazy part. They said back during the Black Death, the plague, they said that people could see people in the fields with scythes, scything the fields. You know what a scythe is? It's something you cut wheat with,
Yeah.
a big old thing with a big curved blade on it. They were out there scything. But what they said there was a mist that came up from their scythes. So they're saying that, okay, maybe the bubonic plague was created by someone, some entity,
Yeah.
because maybe it's just a story that they tell. But either way, we can be attacked naturally, as with the bubonic plague, or we can be attacked from our own people and our own government, our own scientists, and the people that we have in power to trust that are releasing this stuff on us.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And they're releasing on, like you said, it's on us, because at the end of the day, they have all these things set up. If you're rich and famous, they're out, they have somewhere to go, if heaven forbid,
Right.
And I honestly, I don't feel, that this was done deliberately right now to like do this to the whole world, but you never know, I kind of have my own guesses, but I don't want to be conspiracy. on why,
Well, that's all.
why it happened,
Well,
where it happened, but I don't think it was supposed to get to this point. And I don't
I
think Wuhan's overreacting with what they're doing either, like
okay.
people think they are.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think this was planned. I think it was intentional. I think that it was done just the way it was done, mainly because China has the largest population in the world, most concentrated population.
Well, that's what I was
Why
thinking
not?
because of the
Look,
protest.
we've got cases in 30 countries already.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks, we got cases in 30 countries. Sure, there's only a few here and a few there, but every day the number ticks up. We're up to 15 now in America.
And
Who's to
a lot
say
of
it's not going to
people
go
have to
20,
tell you.
25, 30, 50, 1,000?
Yeah, but they don't even, what people don't understand either. And I do think there it was meant to be released. It's just I'm not positive it was meant to be everywhere, like spread the way. But I mean, it's just there's what people also don't understand. There's certain laws and stuff. It's not about just HIPAA laws, like where you can't say somebody's information for privacy.
Right.
Certain states have their own laws where they don't even have to disclose that they even have a patient at all.
Really?
Yeah, it was adopted, enacted actually with, I'm going to look it up while we're talking, but I'll put it in the comments for everybody after the video ends if I don't see it now.
Okay.
But I was reading about a lot of them, and it makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, certain places, even within the USA, come right out. They do press conferences. They talk about certain things.
Yeah.
Other areas don't at all.
Yeah, you're right.
Until it leaks out, and they don't tell you what hospital they're in. They never will, God forbid you have a right to figure out if you, might have walked through there at the same time, just because you want to make sure that if you have symptoms, maybe you should tell somebody so it's not diagnosed the flu. That's the other big thing I think of, actually.
Well, I'll tell you what, Charity, and most Americans are not going to even believe that this thing is a problem. Most Americans are just going to say, well, that's China. Okay, I don't live in California. I don't live in Texas or wherever these other people are at, so I'm fine.
Or New York.
Well,
I know
but it gets to the point to where people in these congested areas, when their emergency rooms start to overflow, when their hospital beds are full and they don't have room for any more, the people of America are going to go, oh my God, how did this happen?
Yep.
And you watched it happen. You watched it unfold and you refused to believe it until now it's in your face. And now you have to deal with it. Definitely. And that's every American, possibly. This is serious. This is serious stuff.
And that's why, I just, like with the mask thing that started going on, and everybody, some people were forcing it, they're fear mongering with it, and
making money off of it. Yeah.
In a bad way.
Yeah.
Just like on Amazon and eBay and things, even some people on YouTube, they're getting expired masks, they're buying, they're paying like astronomical numbers for knockoff masks.
Yeah.
That you have no idea if they're effective.
They're not even N95. Yeah.
No, they're just knockoffs that say N95 on them. They're not at all. You can make them at home and send them out. And I get it because myself, I always had a couple laying around because of when I went through radiation and stuff years ago and different things for health-wise. Being in New York, if you have to take a subway or it's flu season,
right?
Different things.
You're taking chemo or anything, you have to wear.
They tell you to have. They don't look the same as the 3M ones you buy, but they are the same. They're the same like shapes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a higher level and the lowest grade that recommended by the CDC, because surgical masks, they very hard to stay on your face without openings.
They're always open on the side.
Yeah. So, and also like if they get wet really quick, they're not meant to be worn all day long. They're actually meant for a short period of time. Then you throw them out.
That's why they call them surgical masks.
Yeah. I learned a lot
surgery.
about that when
I was an operating room technician, and
so too.
Yeah, so I know a little bit about those masks. Yeah, and it's a blessing to get them off. Let me tell you.
Yeah, yeah. And in reality, it's safer if you could have a couple of the other ones if you do need to run out or something does happen, but not the way that it's been driven into people's heads, and with all this, because I can't stand stuff like that. I hate when people fraud people. I just can't. It drives me
Oh
nuts.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
gouging, you know.
Yeah, it upsets, especially when I start to find people I know that are getting taken for granted and they're really scared, so they're doing it. Ugh. So anyway, I started researching that, looking into all this stuff, and by looking into it, and seeing that the masks really are being all sold out, and paying attention to all of this,
Yeah.
it had me talking to people more. Like when I went to all the different Home Depots or when I went to CVS or Target. Now I'm not going to those places. I'm hiding out a little bit and trying to stay away from big populated things. But that, nobody's preparing. Nobody's concerned. It's just like basic procedures of stuff. They don't care.
It's the unwoke masses.
Yeah.
I mean, there's half of our population or even more have no idea what's going on in this country. They don't know what's going, let alone what's happening in the world. I mean, my sister, I asked her something about it, and she says, well, I hadn't heard that. And I said, well, if you quit watching Dr. Phil 24 hours a day, maybe you'd know what's going on. I mean, come on.
Bobby, it's funny you said that because I wonder sometimes too, if a lot of people aren't interested, not that they're not interested, but they're not understanding or paying attention because of all this stuff, not to get off on a tangent, but all of the, orange man bad stuff, the constant Trump, that, I mean, we know how many news stations have no real ratings of people watching anymore in comparison to the previous decades. So I wonder if oftentimes, like, a lot of people just aren't even tuning in. So they don't even know, to a certain extent.
Exactly. I mean, you hit it right on the head with that. I mean, and it happens, but, and then again, I've got people like my mother. I love my mother. She's 88 years old, and God bless her. I'll be with her till her last day. She took care of me when I couldn't take care of myself, and so I'm doing the same for her. But she don't want to hear it. She don't want to hear it.
That's how my grandma.
She just don't want to hear it. Don't tell me about it. I don't want to know it. When it happens, and let it be a surprise. And she'll hear me talking to you or to somebody else on the phone. And she'll say, do you have to talk about that kind of stuff all the time? And I'll say, well, I thought you didn't like it. She says, well, I don't. She says, because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know. And I said, so you want to be one of the ignorant ones? And she said, yes. I don't want to know what's coming.
That's how Nana is with me about it.
That's okay.
She doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's all right, because I make sure that I have everything ready if they need it.
That's right.
And I get it. But my argument when it isn't with Nana, because Nan's 91 and she raised me and she's my mom. That's,
that's 91. Bless your heart.
Yeah. Well, they had me since I was 6 weeks old. So they're my parents,
Yeah.
And because I'm almost, I'm in my mid-30s, but I tell her all the time, I'm just like, but God also gave us a little bit of a brain, Noah had to build the ark, I was like, but it's all right. I got you. Because she just don't want to hear about it. But, Bobby, I think too, for her and a lot of people, they lived through so many different things, in the 20s and 30s. And
the Depression.
They don't need to hear about it if you think about it, Yeah. They went through this, like my generation doesn't have a clue what this is,
Right.
They have no idea what,
Yeah, the biggest thing we've had to really deal with is, abortion.
At the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Compared to what our parents went through and our grandparents went through to make this country what it is, we have it easy. We have it easy, and we ought to be ashamed of ourselves too. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves that we've let ourselves drop so low.
Yeah.
That we're bickering over killing children.
Absolutely. Oh God.
I mean, how can you drop so low? Do you know what I mean? I mean, what has our society become? We've become a split nation Half want to kill unborn babies up until after birth. You know, they want to give everything away. They want to make everything free. And then you've got God loving American patriots, you know, who would die for the Constitution and the flag or for each other.
Yeah.
You
But
see,
they want to make us look crazy. Don't forget.
it makes no sense to me, Charity. It has to come to a stopping point somewhere. It has to.
Yeah.
It can't go forever this way. And I'm not
No.
talking war, don't get me wrong, but it could well be that. I don't know what it's going to be, a financial collapse. You know, maybe the second coming of Christ needs to happen to make this right. I don't
Yeah.
know. But something's got to fix this because it's broke. It's broken. And with this virus that's going around, we don't know today what 2 weeks from now is going to hold. 2
Not a
weeks from
clue.
now, I'll have you back, Charity,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about how things have progressed. Because I guarantee you, it's doubling
Oh.
every 5 days.
Yeah. I think we'll be
Worldwide.
having, I pray all the time that it doesn't happen, but I also know, you know, that, I don't know.
Well,
you know.
God, the Bible
We
tells
will.
us that we will have tribulations,
Mhm.
and it doesn't say what kind. And I do believe that we are pretty much in the last days. I mean, our God is gone from our schools. He's gone from our county governments, our state governments, and our federal governments. You don't see God anywhere. The flag
Nowhere.
means nothing. The Constitution is just a piece of paper that should be torn up. The Bill of Rights should be used as wiping paper. I mean, they don't
Mhm.
care about America or God or us.
No.
And that's what Satan does. See, Satan is the downfall of the world. He is the biggest liar that was ever known. He's a liar, a deceiver, a con, and a cheat, and a thief.
Master of confusion. Yep.
Yes, master of confusion. And he's got these other people over here on the left. I don't know if they just are crazy. I don't know what the deal is, but he has their hearts.
Oh,
Satan has his own dominion. And these leftist Republicans and Democrats are his dominion. We're talking
Mhm.
Hillary, the Podestas, you know, Pelosi, Schumer, all of them. They serve
see it in
Satan.
their
They
eyes.
serve Satan.
Mhm. Yeah.
You can't serve the one living God. I've never been a Catholic, but I know enough about the Catholic Church that if you are pro-abortion, you're not in good standing with the church.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they
Okay?
don't.
Well, Nancy Pelosi says that she is in good standing with her church, but yet she's still pro-abortion. And then
I was
you have,
raised Catholic, you know, but then I became born again. But
well,
I
amen.
know.
Thank God for that. But then you have
Amen.
Biden. He went to South Carolina 2 months ago, and they refused him communion because of his stance of abortion. So you
Yeah.
see, we do have good Christian people standing up for what's right and refusing even people like Joe Biden, Uncle Pedophile, creepy Joe Biden.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't deserve communion.
No,
He
it
didn't.
goes against every, you know,
Right.
it's like, that's the whole point, especially if he was actually a practicing Catholic and he made all of his sacraments. And
Yeah.
come on, it's just, but people don't wake up. They're like, oh, well, they think they're so great. Well, then why do they sit there and talk about being Catholic? Why, you know, I don't know. That's for another show.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, personally, I'm not going to have an opinion on Catholics. You know, I do have one, and I've voiced it earlier. And I mean, I don't hate Catholics by no means, but
No.
but the same thing. Either you are what you profess to be, or
you're
you're a
not.
liar.
Yeah.
You're a liar. You're a deceiver. You're part of the problem. You see, and that's the whole thing in the end times.
For everybody, exactly.
Yeah. How has your winter been up there in New York? Has it been
Weird.
mild?
Really weird.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Hot and cold?
Yeah. Yeah, we were really warm yesterday and the day before. Then last night it dropped another 30,
Okay.
40 degrees. It's just,
Right.
we're not getting any snow. We got a little bit and then it's gone.
All right. Yesterday
You
it was 74 degrees here.
hmm
Today it was 39.
Yeah, it's crazy where you are.
In the last days, we'll not know the seasons.
Well, that seems to be what's happening with the weather for the last few years.
Exactly.
I don't
Well,
remember
it's
this
going to
growing
work that
up.
way. But
Yeah,
we
as
have to
a
prepare
child, it was
ourselves.
not like this. As a teenager, nothing.
No,
No.
it used
We
to
had
be.
no. We went sleigh riding. Like we don't
Yep.
have. I have not been able to take the kids sleigh riding in 4 years. 4 years. They talk
And
about
you live
all
in
the time.
upstate New York, is that right?
Hmm?
Are you in upstate New York?
Yeah, I'm about 90 to 120 minutes away from the city. Thank God.
I used to run New York when I drove a truck. I've been all up
Yeah.
in Binghamton and Blackwater and all that. So,
I'm not all the
and
way
up
up
in the
to
Adirondacks and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. I'm a good 4 hours to 5 hours from. Well, no, I think it was like almost 6 when I drove up there to the Adirondacks.
to the city?
No, in the Adirondacks.
Oh, the Adirondack.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a beautiful place.
I could drive to the city easily, but I don't want to do it. I'm trying to drive the other way. Trying to get out of here.
Yeah, you need to come on down. You need to come on south. We need good patriot women like you, and we've got plenty of people that you can help because there's a lot of us that have mental problems down here. So you can bring your expertise and maybe help them out. But no,
I gotta keep thinking about it.
I'm serious, Charity. I'll tell you what, I love you. I love your videos. I love your passion. I think you are a true American patriot. You're a good, God loving Christian. And you should be an inspiration to other women and to men who have had to make choices in their life about their religious beliefs. And you are to be commended for your stance as a Christian. And I'm proud to know you, and I just hope the best for you. It's always a blessing to see a young woman like you, and I say young because I'm old, but a young woman like you who believes in God and is raising a family in the right way. And it's one thing, just to have kids and let them just grow up. That's the way I was. See, I just grew up. I wasn't reared, I was raised. In other words, they set me out like a stalk of corn and said, grow. And I did my thing. I had no limits as a child.
It was the same here, which is why I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I agree. And I did not do that with my daughters either.
Yeah.
You raise them in the way to go and they'll not part from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Bible tells us. But Charity, I'm about done. I want you to finish us up here. You got several minutes. Just tell us whatever is on your mind and what you're thinking about. And if I put you on the spot and you don't want to do it, we'll do it together.
That's all right. Thank you for all those kind words. I appreciate it a lot. And I feel
we love you, Charity. We do.
Definitely reciprocated. I love you. I love all of you. I often, sit there and think to myself how crazy it is that, I used to watch things and I never would go in chat rooms, when I was at work, when I'm home. And I was like, if you asked me a couple of years ago, if I would feel a connection to people that I've only seen their screen name in a chat room, it's like, it's amazing what this community really is, and of course you deal with trolls, the good, the bad, the ugly,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
for the majority of everybody, this is just, it does make me kind of question the last days, because it seems like God uses something that was for evil, the internet, that dark web, and then look at through all of this censorship and everything, and then we all find each other anyway.
That's right. Yeah. We gravitate to each other. Yeah.
And I love it because we can share ideas and agree to disagree and do it in a nice way, or maybe we'll learn something from one another because I don't know it all at all, and I'm always
me neither, by a long shot.
Yeah. And I love that about the community and about what you do on your show. you know, and staying true to what you believe in your heart. That's important. You know, nobody wants to do that anymore. It's about money and, you know, and I get it, you know, you need to make money sometimes. That's fine. You know, it's okay. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody that takes any money, but
Well,
at the same time,
if I depended on money, I'd be starving right
sometimes,
now.
right?
But I'm not here
You
for the
know,
money, just like you aren't, you know.
yeah,
And I'm not here. Believe me, yeah, I'd love to have 2,000 subscribers. Don't get me wrong, I would. You know,
you will.
that's just a personal thing. I would. I'd like to be liked by that many
It's
people.
only been a year, right? Has it been a year yet for the
I
deplorable body?
just passed a year last week.
It was last week already.
Yeah,
Wow, a year.
yeah. They sent me an email saying that I had met my 1,000 subs and 4,000 watched hours. So now that I was eligible to uh, monetize and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but I haven't monetized. I may never monetize. I'm not here for the money. Don't get me
Well, it's
wrong. You
not
know,
that
but to be
bad. I
honest,
mean, as well, you know, if they don't like something, they take it off anyway. It's
yeah.
the
Well,
least that all of us can do is watch a commercial for 20 seconds, you
there
know?
you go. But there again, too, you have to understand, Charity, and as you grow and people like Dangerous Freedom and other people grow, Tactical Tech and all these other people, you'll find that in order to maintain an audience and to grow your channel, you're going to have to start spending a little money. You
Yeah, I
know,
know. You're gonna
new
have to figure it out.
equipment, microphones, cameras,
It's a
laptops.
lot.
You know,
God.
I mean, I got a $1,200 sitting in front of me right now that I'm looking at talking to
Oh, I
you
know.
on.
It's a lot.
You know, and but that's okay. I did it out of my heart because I wanted to do this, and I'm not expecting my viewers to pay for it. You know, but I've been doing so many videos that StreamYard has cut me off, and now I had to buy the premium because I was doing too many videos.
Oh,
So now I'm having to pay for StreamYard. I'm having to pay for Power Director and a few other things that's, you know, it doesn't add up to much, $150 a month, something like that. But I'm not going to ask people to pay for it. You know, if they want to donate to my channel,
donating is very helpful. Even if it's just a couple dollars, you know, I tell that to
and
people.
people think, oh, well, I don't have any
Buy me a
money.
cup of coffee, you know, because we're sitting here. A lot of us stopped paying for cable. We used to be paying through the nose,
Yeah.
you know, $100, $200 a month. And now because of the internet, all of you are our shows now. So I
Yeah.
don't think it's bad. Like if I take $25 a month and do something with it, I feel like that's what God would want me to do. I used to pay $200 for junk, you know,
I'll tell you
trash.
what I do.
You
I've
know?
got Comcast cable and internet. Okay. And I pay 130 something dollars a month for it. Okay. I don't even watch cable. I
No,
don't
I do
even,
internet
I
now.
mean, everything I want to watch, be it movies or be it documentaries or shows or anything else, I watch on YouTube.
You can find almost anything.
And if you want, I mean, you can watch live stuff on YouTube if you want to,
Mhm.
you know, so you don't have to have that cable. All you got to have is the internet.
Yeah, I'm very
Of course,
happy.
some people won't let you have one without the other. So
Uh,
that's my case. Yeah, they won't let me have the internet without the cable. You got to have
I
both.
have the internet through the cable, but I don't have to do the channels. But it comes from the cable company, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
got you.
Which is why I have a house phone, and you know, 2020, nobody
A
understands why I have
house
a house.
phone. What is that?
I love it. I'm never getting rid of it.
Yeah, you told me today that I had the hard line in, so that's good. All right,
Thank you
dear.
so much.
You've got 1 minute. We've got 1 minute. I want to thank you so much for coming. The hour was easy. You made it easy, and I thank you for that. And everybody was happy. We had good people in here. We were up to 32 at one point. So we're going to have a
Sorry I couldn't
successful.
see the chat room, but I'm
It's
just
been
hanging.
great.
This is my first time really being on a show, so
Oh, I knew that. So we
Hi.
have Mary Wills, Tactical Technician, Kevin Morfan, Mark Miller, Iron Crane, CLC in Florida, Sue Eason, Kimberly Frankenberry. Good to see you. Futz Forks, Mark Miller, Steve Bevins, Tactical Tech again, Betty May, Kimberly Frankenberry, Mark Miller, PDX Scout, Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of people in here, and I'll tell you what, Steve Bevins and everybody else, I want to thank y'all for being here. It's been a good show. Thank you. Charity, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank
And
you.
I promise you, we will do this again.
I would love
Whenever
that.
we'll do it again.
Right, it's not.
We'll have an update in a week or two. We'll see where we're
Yeah.
at then with this coronavirus.
Definitely.
Okay. Hug your babies and kiss your old man for me. And I love you. And we'll talk to you in a day or two. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. God bless. Y'all have a good night.